For some reason, the mic actually on this camera somehow projects too much noise and too much feedback, so I have my computer pushed all the way back. So hopefully I won't kind of mess up your hearing, so that's the reason why it's so far back. But other than that, guys, it's TLC time. I almost forgot to do the predictions for this because I forgot that it was actually tomorrow. So I'm just going to go ahead and just put this out there. Now, I am just going to be completely real with you. TLC can be pretty fun. Not with the whole stairs things added. Not with the whole TLCS. That was the weirdest pay-per-view I've ever watched. But other than that, I will admit this. SmackDown has done a pretty decent job actually promoting TLC and getting you hyped up about some of the matches. There are matches on there that I don't really care that much about. And there's some matches, of course, I'm very interested in. That's with anybody here. But I'm going to do my best to try to put out my predictions as well as I can possibly do it. But before I actually talk about the predictions and some of the matches themselves on the card, my question is this. Why are they bothering having a kickoff when they really are not going to put any matches that are relevant on the kickoff? I mean, I know I can't really say it's going to give Renee Young something to do because Renee Young has plenty to do. But I know it has to give the legend something to do. I don't know. But it makes no sense to have a kickoff. It's a waste of an hour. If you're not going to have a match that is actually germane to the card, just to free up the card. Like, for example, if you have only 2 hours for the pay-per-view, and you have far too many matches on the card, I understand why you would have a kickoff, so you can automatically have those matches on there. It could be seen on the network, so they can actually get their screen time, and then it'll be done early. I get that. But if you're just going to have a random match on the kickoff and then just have a panel doing a recap when we actually have seen the recaps either on Raw or SmackDown beforehand, why bother? Because you know, back in the day before the whole brand split and stuff happened, we all know they had a Raw recap on SmackDown and then they had a SmackDown recap occasionally on Raw. We would pretty much know exactly what feud was going on, what was going to be on the card, on the pay-per-view. They will always do a pay-per-view recap before then, so why bother even having it now? That's my question. Why bother doing another recap before the actual show happens? And I know people are like, it's going to hype you up for TLC. That is what go-home shows are for. Go-home shows are supposed to hype you up for the pay-per-view. The overall month leading on up to the pay-per-view is supposed to hype you up for that pay-per-view. So why have a recap and another recap and another recap? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why waste that hour for another recap when we already know what's going on? That's just me. That's just me personally. It doesn't make any sense. It's a waste of an hour. But other than that, I'm going to talk about my predictions for this pay-per-view for TLC for tomorrow. Or today. Because I'm actually doing this really late. But let's get started with what I consider to be the standalone. Even though it is not, I understand it is not because it's actually a championship match. But why are they actually doing this with no stipulation? This is my question. There's stipulations on every single match on the card except for one. The tag team titles match. Why? Why couldn't you have made it a tables match? It would have made so much sense. I understand a ladder. I wouldn't do a ladder with Bray Wyatt, but it would have made so much sense to have a tables match with the Wyatt family versus Slater and Rhino. It would have made sense. But this is the only match on the card with no stipulation whatsoever. And I'm like, okay, why make it TLC, tables, ladders, and chairs, when everything is in relation to tables, ladders, and chairs, except for Nikki Bella versus Carmella, and I don't get that either. But you have the tag team titles match that have no stipulation at all. And then you have Nikki Bella versus Carmella, which is a no DQ, but it's not in any relation to the pay-per-view itself, tables, ladders, and chairs. No tables, no ladders, no chairs. Even though, like, well, no DQ means you can do whatever you want. So why couldn't you just made it an actual match like tables, ladders, and chairs, or just made it a tables match or a chairs match? Oh, wait, I forgot. Nikki can't lift anything over her head. Never mind, that one makes sense. She can't do the rack attack, which means she probably can't power slam anybody into a table. I get it. I understand that. But it doesn't make any sense for the tag team titles. It's ridiculous. It would have been far better if it was tables. That's just me. But anyway, let's just talk about who's going to win here. Now, there's a huge rumor talking about how the Wyatt is going to be pushed. I am all for that. Bray Wyatt has not been pushed well since his since John Cena. Seriously, since his match at WrestleMania 30, it was a downhill spiral for his career since then. And that's just my humble opinion. But at that point, I really feel that Randy Orton now being attached to it, it's a guaranteed win. Do you really think that Randy Orton is going to be on a losing team? No. So my vote goes to the Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton for the win. I'm not going to really go so much into the future of it all, but I'm just going to go into these two for the win, hands down. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Now let's move on to, I cannot believe that this match actually does have a stipulation, but the tag team match don't. I'm actually surprised this match is on the freaking card. There hasn't really been a lot of hype for this, and for some reason, it's actually on the freaking card. I'm hoping this match is on the pre-show, because it deserves to be on the pre-show. But since it's a chairs match, it's on the freaking card. Kalisto versus Baron Corbin. And as you guys know, I care less for Baron Corbin. And I love Lucha, but Kalisto is meh at best. Like, he's probably the vanilla version of Lucha I have ever seen in my life. But it's not his fault. He's probably subdued, because I know how aggressive Lucha can be. But honestly, I prefer Kalisto more so than Baron Corbin. Because Baron Corbin, he's all over the place, man. When it comes to what he's supposed to do, he does whatever he wants, even though it doesn't make any sense when he does it. And I'm wondering whether or not he's actually doing it on his own, or if he's really told to do it. Because it doesn't make any sense for him to actually cost the cruiserweights, the cruiserweight division for SmackDown. It made no sense for him to actually be the game changer of that match. It made no sense at all. And with this feud with Kalisto and Baron Corbin, it's just as bad. Because it makes no sense. Like, whatsoever. No sense at all for me. But other than that, Kalisto for the win. Kalisto's going to get his comeuppance against Baron Corbin. And then later on, they're going to find something for him to do. He's going to probably beat the ever-loving crap out of Baron Corbin. Probably take a chair to the... put a chair on his chest and kick it. Other than that, he's going to beat the crap out of Baron Corbin with the chair. Kalisto for the win. That's my call. Now, I'm going to move on to the match that I actually am excited to see. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, look, we've seen this about a million times. Why does it matter? Here's why it matters. The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. We know that these two can go at it. We know these two have amazing chemistry because they're best friends in real life. And we already know this is going to be an amazing match. In my opinion, it's going to be the match of the night. The Miz has been an amazing heel champion as of late. He has done more for that belt than any heel has done in this generation. I'm not saying in the past there have been plenty greats that has held that belt, but we have not seen a decent heel champion hold the IC title in a very long time. I know people be like, well, what about Cody? It's been a while since Cody has been gone. Actually, no, it really hasn't been that long at all. But other than that, yes, Cody Rhodes has done a lot for that belt. Not only did he bring back the classic title, he was an amazing heel at best. But since Cody Rhodes has been gone, we haven't really found anyone that has been a decent heel IC champion since Cody Rhodes. And in my opinion, it's The Miz. The Miz is an amazing heel. And not only has he put the spotlight on himself, he's put the spotlight on the belt by default because of him. I think that's great. I think that's amazing. And in my opinion, he should stay that way. I still want him to be the champ. But here's the thing about this match. Not only do we have a ladder, we have Dolph Ziggler, which is pretty much a powder keg when it comes to any stipulations. And that guy can beat the crap out of anyone when you literally stack everything against him. Not to mention that The Miz actually has Maurice by his side, so you know Maurice is going to try to have a double cross. And having amazing heel valet with an amazing heel champion mixed in with a face that has a lot of people behind him, it's going to be an amazing match, a very emotional driven match in my opinion. Maybe not so emotional because it's really nothing on the line like it was before with his career. But honestly, guys, it's going to be an amazing match to watch. Match of the night, in my opinion. My vote goes to The Miz for the win. I want The Miz to remain champion because this guy is a good heel champion. I'm just going to say that right then and there. But anyway, let's move on to the match where I really don't consider matters much because the feud is so stupid and insignificant. If somehow they try to make it significant just to hype up their show Total Divas. And y'all know what I'm talking about after saying that. Nikki Bella versus Carmella. I got no beef with Carmella because I've seen amazing matches coming from her on NXT when Enzo and Cass went to the main roster. Her feud with Bayley, well, not really a feud, but her match that she had with Bayley really did put her to the limit. Like, it shows that she has amazing amount of potential if you honestly book her correctly. And it shows that she does have talent. I'm not going to deny that. But when it comes to her being on the main roster, she tried to make a statement against Nikki Bella. But the problem is, number one, Nikki Bella has not had any comeuppance against Carmella since then and made her look weak. And number two, the feud that she has with Nikki Bella makes no sense. John Cena has not been around for a while now. And when it comes to her career, they kept their relationship silent until Total Divas came out. They've been together for 4 years. They don't promote their relationship unless it's on the red carpet or unless it's on Total Divas. They don't promote their relationship that much at all. It goes to show that over the years, Nikki Bella has become well seasoned in what she's done. She has become a really great performer as well as a hit maker. And not so much that chick is a hustler. She actually has her own businesses and her own brands out there, not only with her sister, but also her own brands as well. She's making her own paper, her own money on her own. And she's not getting any help from John. John's doing his own thing. He's making his own money. He's hustling right and left. And they're doing their own thing. He has not had any help. He has not helped her at all. And a lot of people make assumptions now. Oh, well, she's dating John Cena, so she get whatever she wants. Maybe that's how it was back in the day, but that's not how it is now. She's making her own money on her own, and she's got that respect from me. So in my humble opinion, Carmella don't really got a leg to stand on, unless they actually decide to do the real life thing and talk about how she's separated from Cass and how she's on the same exact show as John Cena. Then maybe I would probably, just maybe a slight little bit, I would probably feel bad for Carmella. Because it would make sense to put that in the storyline and be like, look, you're with your man 24/7. You're able to get where you're at with your man 24/7. My boy Cass, my man Cass, happens to be on NXT. He was there with me from the very beginning. And then he ended up coming to main roster. And I can't be with him, but you're with your man. That's not fair. If you want to go that route, do that. Go that route. But her saying that John Cena is literally feeding her, as well as promoting her and doing all this other stuff, and she's not doing jack squat, is stupid and it has no merit anymore. So yes, her feud with Nikki is insignificant, and it's making Carmella look weak. It makes her look bad. It doesn't even make her look like she's in the running, and how my boy Prince calls, or how my boy Prince would probably say, is a role player. She's not even a role player yet. And that's kind of jacked up. And I know what, she's just got to the main roster. No, dude. There are people that become role players just when they get to the main roster. That's why you're there in the first place. She's not even that. Because her feud makes no sense. It has no substance. It can't push her along. But I've talked far too much about Carmella. Let's talk about who's going to win this match. Carmella is going to get her comeuppance. And here is my overall theory for this dumb match. When Nikki Bella finally wins, we're going to find out who knocked her out. Unless they change their mind and erase that entire thing for making Natalya the bad guy, even though nobody really cares that much about Natalya. I'm actually hoping that somehow Eva Marie will be the chick that took out Nikki Bella. That's what I'm hoping for. Like, I'm not going to lie. That's what I'm hoping for personally. I'm hoping for Eva Marie to be the chick that actually took out Nikki. That's what I want, seriously. But other than that, my opinion is if they actually choose to go that storyline route and keep it, they're going to reveal who knocked her out and who took her out of Survivor Series. If they decide to go that route, and if they did not change their mind. But they changed their mind like I change clothes. And that's a lot. Not always. Well, yeah, that is a lot. I do change my clothes a lot. But other than that, just like how I drink water, they changed their minds. I can't really come up with a good analogy. I'm just going to say that Nikki Bella's for the win. I'm just going to move on from there. I've already screwed that up. But anyway, let's talk about the only women's match with a decent stipulation. But I guess, like I said, it makes sense why Nikki Bella doesn't have one, because she can't really do anything. Like, seriously, she will not be able to participate in a tables, ladders, and chairs match because, number one, she can't do the rack attack anymore. Number two, she can't powerbomb anybody. So the having stipulation is just stupid. So I can let that go. But when it comes to the SmackDown Women's Championship, I am excited about this. Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch. They are going to go all out. They are going to try to outshine Charlotte versus Sasha. That's what they're going to try to do. And we know that Becky can go. Alexa's alright. Like, I've seen her in a few matches on NXT. She's alright. But she's not as good as Becky. But I will say this. With Alexa Bliss in the ring and Becky Lynch in the ring, she's going to bring her A game because of Becky Lynch. Which means it's going to be an amazing women's match to watch. And it's a tables match. But here's my problem with tables matches when it comes to women. There are women that weigh $1.25 or $1.05. And more than likely, Alexa Bliss probably weighs $1.05. Which means that Becky Lynch is going to have to literally do amazing spots to get that chick to go through the table. That's what's going to have to happen. They tried that with Sasha Banks and failed. Because Sasha Banks is a very petite woman. And she's very small. And she was not heavy enough to break the table. But at least Becky Lynch was smart enough at the SmackDown taping or the SmackDown live show to actually get off the top rope and power slam Alexa Bliss into a table. That's what you're going to have to do. They're going to have to use a massive amount of force to have that table broken because unfortunately your opponent is a very petite woman. She is 5 feet worth of fierce, but she's 5 feet and probably maybe $1.05. That's probably what she is, seriously. So she has to do a lot more to get that chick to go through the table than, well, that's pretty much the Achilles heel of the women's division. There's not a lot of women that are heavyweights. There's only one that what I consider to be a heavyweight. All the other ones, no. I'm sorry. But other than that, it's going to be an amazing spot fest as well as an amazing finish. At least I hope it will be. But other than that, my vote, and a lot of people's vote for this, goes to Alexa Bliss. I never thought in my heart of hearts that I would actually be going up against Becky. I love Becky. I love her. But what made the moment so special for Becky Lynch to be the SmackDown Women's Champion is because of how long and how far that she had to go to get that title, to get that spot. People have been rooting for her since the very beginning. Her feud with Sasha Banks at NXT put me in tears. Because that is when that chick cemented her name. That's when you knew who Becky Lynch was. From that feud that she had with Sasha Banks, in my opinion. And I'm going to say my opinion because I know a whole lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I don't care. I believe that she cemented her name when she actually had that feud with Sasha Banks. If she loses to Alexa Bliss, it's not going to be a lose-lose for her because she's going to fight to get it back. And when she fights, it's going to be even more triumphant when she wins. It's going to be that heartfelt when she wins. And I pray that it's on a pay-per-view and not on a SmackDown show. She deserves to have a pay-per-view, just like Sasha deserves to have a pay-per-view. My actual vote goes to Alexa Bliss, but it does not count Becky out. It's going to be a good moment for her if they do it correctly. But let's move on to the main event of the night. AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. This is going to be amazing! I'm going to tell you this right now. It's going to be an amazing match because I love AJ Styles. And Dean Ambrose is already unhinged in the ring when it comes to objects. If you give that guy a Kindle stick or barbed wire bat that's on fire and you tell him he can use it, he will freaking use it. I love this because he has permission to go crazy. And AJ Styles, we know him from New Japan. We know him from TNA. We know that this guy can go. He will go to extreme lengths to keep his title. This is going to be an amazing match. We're going to probably have 2 main event matches of the night, in my opinion. Seriously. And this is one of them. Tables, ladders, and chairs is going to go all out craziness. And I am looking forward to the chaos happening. Seriously. But who do I think is going to win? AJ Styles. I'm sorry. AJ Styles is a far better heel champion than Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose as champion was fun. It was fun. It was exciting. It was something new. Because we haven't really had an anti-hero heel champion since Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I guess you could probably say since CM Punk. CM Punk and Stone Cold Steve Austin have been the only 2 anti-hero champions. And it's been a while since we've seen those 2 on the air. So this will pretty much be... And then Dean Ambrose was next, which was an anti-hero at the time. But a lot of people didn't really like Dean Ambrose being champion behind the scenes because he actually was a bit, I don't know, cavalier about him being champion, especially about the way he dressed and everything. He didn't really care that much. He had a really nonchalant attitude. But other than that, AJ Styles is a far better heel champion. He's a far better heel champion, and that belt does need a decent heel champion. I love Dean Ambrose. He was an amazing champion. He's a great anti-hero champion. He made it fun. He made it exciting every single time he was on screen when he was champ. But we need a heel champion at the moment. We really do. And AJ Styles is the best one. So my vote goes to AJ Styles for the win. But other than that, guys, that's my vote. Those are my predictions. I am done here. What are yours? Leave in the comments below, and I will see you on Sunday. Well, I will see you in a few hours. Maybe several. I don't know. I'll see you later. Peace out.